Today we're gonna make whole wheat pancakes. They're dairy-free and they're light and fluffy and they're easy enough to make any day of the week. Let's get into it. First up, mixing the batter. I'm going to start with my dry ingredients. I'm gonna just roll through. I haven't pre-scaled everything. I know who am I eating right now, but you're gonna see just how easy this is. So let's start with our dry ingredients. So this is 100% whole wheat flour. Now I still am going to kind of spoon my flour in. Otherwise, you could compact it and then you could get, your hydration will be off and you'll need more. Just take the second to kind of mound it on top and then grab yourself a knife and go ahead and level that off. Okay, and then dump that in. Sweet. Set that aside, we're gonna use that again. So then we've got baking powder. Now we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of that. Okay. And then a little bit, so about half a teaspoon of kosher salt. Give that a little whisk and set it aside. So in our larger bowl is where we're gonna mix all of our wet ingredients, basically everything else. So I've got myself an egg. This is an extra large egg because that's what I have, but a large egg will do. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil in here. If you are vehemently opposed to vegetable oil, you know who you are. You can use whatever oil you want. And then a little bit of maple syrup. It's nice to do the oil first because then the maple syrup just kind of comes out and it won't stick in there. So do a little bit of vanilla. Give that a whisk. The vanilla sometimes has little bits in it. It's gonna be extra vanilla-y. Okay, and then we're gonna go with whatever your dairy-free milk of choice is. You could of course also, oh my god, use milk. Hands don't cooperate today. This is unsweetened almond milk, but of course you could use whole milk if you'd like. You could also use sweetened, but maybe you want to omit the maple syrup, just a thought. All right. Cool. Now we're gonna fold in, and by fold I mean we're gonna whisk in our dry ingredients. Yep. Good. This looks super duper liquidy. You are not wrong. But what we are gonna do is we're gonna have to, this is a sad moment of truth here, but whole wheat flour takes longer to hydrate than AP flour. And so, sadly, we need to let this sit. I know. Ideally about an hour. So I'm gonna cover it with plastic wrap and I'm gonna let it sit. It can sit at room temperature, it can sit in the fridge, wherever you want it to sit, that's where it can go. And I have not tried making it overnight, but I'm sure it would be great. Now we wait. You can, of course, obviously, make this now, but not only will the flavors kind of intensify, but also the flour will hydrate, so it's gonna be a little soupy right now. But if you give it in time, at least 30. Give it 30. Please do this for me. All right, we are ready to cook our pancakes. So I've got my favorite nonstick. I've got our batter that is sat and rested and totally chill. And then I've got a little spray because I am gonna give it just a little light dusting, usually every other pancake. And then I've got my frozen blueberries. You can use fresh, doesn't matter. But without further ado, let's get going. I always do a tester to start, but I already did that, so you don't have to wait and watch me do a baby one. But just know that that already occurred. So I'm gonna do about a 2-ounce ladle. So this makes 4 to 6 generously sized, like 6-inch pancakes, because yum. So we are going to let this basically kind of get all bubbles in the center that are going to start to form and pop, and it's going to look a little set around the edges, and that is when you know that you can add your blueberries. You don't want to add them too soon because they might, you might get like raw bits around the blueberries. So just know that. Oh, I'm so excited for these. All right, so you can see that it's puffed around the edges. It's kind of starting to set. So this is when you're going to add your blueberries, because you can see it's definitely like ready. It's basically almost cooked, and I can actually smell it, and so I'm gonna hurry up and add these really fast because I can smell that the other side is, you know, cooking more than I'd like it to. So then I'm gonna just flip it. Look at her. Isn't she perfect? I'm just saying it takes mad skill to hold a camera, talk, add blueberries, and then flip pancake all at one time. Now, because we cooked it almost all the way on the other side, it doesn't need to cook quite as long on this side. You do want to make sure that your blueberries are cooked, that the batter around the blueberries is cooked, so you do want to make sure you give it enough time. If one has a griddle, first of all, I'm super jealous, but second of all, you could probably make this whole batch in one go, and then breakfast would be ready already. Just give it a peek. Oh yeah, she good. See that? Yum. Go ahead and pop it on our stack over here. We're making a nice little short stack. Alrighty, next pancake. And we're just gonna roll through. Breakfast is my favorite meal. Do not be fooled by these bubbles. You need to make sure it looks set on the outside. Ta-da! But the best thing about pancakes is that no waiting is involved. It is time to try. It's time to try. Now this is when I would normally douse this in 1,000,000 pounds of maple syrup, but today we're gonna go old school naked pancakes because these pancakes are delightful all on their own, and I just want to taste that nuttiness and from the whole wheat and the fruit, and we'll get into it. Let's just take a bite. It's light and fluffy and super moist. And like, because we let the flour hydrate, it's not dry at all. It has like a really beautiful whole wheat nutty flavor to it, and also like that burst of fruit. Oh, feel free to top this with whatever fruit you want. Me, as just bananas, and just really go to town. Easy breakfast.